Oh, hello, shell buddies, and welcome back to the Ashway Bijou channel. All right, today we have a post-storm treat from Lido Key. Today we're going to head out to South Lido Key Beach Park and take a look at what Debbie did out there. Oh, what a mess. No way! Paper cockle! Oh, hey! It's a brittle star. Now, if you watch the beach reports from my channel, then you know that I tell you that the day right after a storm is not always the ideal shelling conditions. Water level is higher. Water is nasty and dirty and dark. Surf very high. Tides were higher. There's foam. There's big waves breaking and there's big winds. So the day after a storm leaves town is not always as good as 2 days after a storm leaves town. So we're going to have a bit of a shorter shelling outing here at Lido Key. But just because Lido shelling was shorter, don't think that means you aren't going to get to see some cool shells in this video. I have a really special treat because I got some fan mail from some folks, and I'm going to share that stuff with you, including the cool little shell hauls these girls sent to me. Awesome! So awesome! And before we get out there, I am going to drop one last little surprise. Won't see it in this video, but you will see it in one of the upcoming ones. Since we were checking a bunch of places and the beach was kind of roughed up, we ended up going on a really cool special fossil hunt. So there will be a video coming along shortly for that as well. In the meantime, let's get out to Lido and go take a look. All right, that is the sheriff's boat, but boating wise, there aren't too many people out here. There's still a crazy amount of wind when we're not expecting there to be this much wind. Clearly the water level got high. There's shells way up here. And water level remains high, not a lot of beach. And the water does look icky. Oh, yuck. I see people out there on the end though, on the point. A lot of commons here in this rack line. Then we've got higher rack back here. Now, unfortunately, this little turtle nest has been topped over. So we hope the little guys in there are okay. There's been a lot of reports of turtle nest damage from this storm, washing the sand that the nesting was in completely away. And as you can see, I'm up here in the sea grapes. There's shells and shells and shells, and it looks like the water level got to in here, from what I can tell at least. So we probably had every bit of that 4 feet of storm surge they said we were getting. Rock lines and weird places, not used to seeing that. The water is gross. Look at that brownness. Like, that is not our beautiful Gulf water. Normally, it's so pretty and blue-green out here. But all of that dirt, all of that rainwater, flood water, surge, churn has decidedly changed the look of things. Not seeing too much over here, but normally I don't find a ton on this side anyway. But I'll take this. Ooh, cute little spiny jewel box, little tiny spiny. Let's take him. Now, because the water conditions were going to be kind of honestly, I didn't even wear a bathing suit. I am not planning on getting wet in that stuff. Lots of pretty scallops. There's a nice one right there. Nice bay with that reddish brown. That's cool. And we have had a change to the beach up ahead of us. Absolutely. Looking different over here. So this little spot here on Lido got carved pretty badly with a dahlia. Wow, the ocean's rough. And then it filled all back in with sand, but some water has kind of carved up to it again. Okay, so I paused it here. Now, there was a big hole over there up in the upper right where there's a bunch of water behind it. And I've seen it grow and get smaller and then grow again and get smaller over the course of some of these storms. And I think that action is actually the same thing, the mechanism responsible for taking off the top of Honeymoon Island. Ooh, that's a big white Atlantic simile, a really big one. That's a nice find. Okay. The point got bigger, right? Just double checking to make sure I'm not seeing things here. Alright, let's see what got washed way the heck up here. Since I clearly don't want a water shell today. The wind. Still stiff 17, 18 miles an hour, maybe a little higher right now from what it feels like. Look at the shells pushed all the way up here. Wow. Yeah, normally shells ain't anywhere near over here. This sand has all been freshly deposited too. You see the ripple marks in it from the water. You can see where it lumps over and then kind of dips down. So, yeah. Things got filled in over there with a lot of sand. You see that little puddle right here used to be quite a bit bigger. This one's been here a while. You can see it's tea-stained and kind of gross. That's been there for a long time, so since Ian at least. A few people out shelling, not many. A lot of fishermen. And some very tired shorebirds who have had a hellish couple of days, I'm sure. Scallop? It is. It's very discolored, but a rough scallop nonetheless. I wouldn't necessarily say going into the bird nesting area is advisable. Oh, John found a sand dollar. Did it break? Nope. What you got there, honey? I'm going to have you carry that because I got the water bottle in here.
It ain't going to make it.
It may not. That's okay. All the birds have been displaced out of their little nesting area and are all resting over here. Gosh. This beach, I barely recognize it. Oh, look, babe, there's a tulip. Oh, it's broken. Really broken. An oyster. I don't find those guys that much, so I'm going to take that. What's this?
I have no idea.
It's hard. Like a fossil. Interesting. Take that home, too. There's a big turkey wing, babe. Yeah, that's a big guy. That wind is screaming. There's a moon. Hello, moon. Hello, mossy. Certainly plenty of shells to look through. A couple gals out here are carrying grocery store bags full of stuff already. And this is just the rack line right here by the water. I mean, there's more up there in the center, certainly, to check as well. But what I really wanted to see was the point. No way! Paper cockle! This is a rare find for us around here. I usually only see these out at Egmont. So that's a nice find, a paper cockle right there. What a beautiful shell. These pretty ribs pink and orange in it. And it's great. It's in great shape. Nice. Well, that's fun. And oh my goodness, there's a pile of shells right in front of us. Wow. Nice big white coquina. That's a nice one. Cool. Now, I haven't even posted this yet, but I was down here a few days prior to. So I will be going back through that footage and today's to see if I notice anything substantially different. But after the last thunderstorm we had, it looked to me like Lido had changed a little. Today, it looks like it's changed quite a bit. Now this is interesting here too. We're not at dead low tide, but look, you can see where the confluence is hitting from here and here. So that's not that's deep. It's just water converging. Now on this other side, the Gulf is roaring. We're looking at about 3-4 foot waves out here. I know they projected 5 to 7. I'm sure if you get further offshore, they're higher. And just shells all over here at the end. Look at this pile we're in. Golly. Yep, certainly shells on Lido Beach. Let's give you a 360 here. I'm standing in a field of them. A lot of commons and a lot of broken stuff, but I'm willing to bet there's other things underneath. Oh look, it's a fossil olive there. Top broken off of it. There's a big fat olive right there. And then there's a seraph. No, an auger, sorry. Another olive here. There's a nutmeg. There's a seraph right there. And another auger. Another seraph. Wow. Okay. He's so cute. Another auger. And yep, there's a couple inches worth of shells here too. Alright, now to satisfy my curiosity.
Nothing will stop a sheller.
That's right. Alright, so water is coming across the bottom of the point now. The tide is on the way, and yes, this point has absolutely grown since the last time we were down here. That wind is screaming. Oof. Alright, Debbie, you need to go. This sand is all very soft. This was just recently moved around. I could tell walking on it. It's not just that it's wet. It hasn't been here long. It isn't packed. Now look at this. On this edge has been flattened. Whereas the last time I was here, there was a carved drop point. Now with the tide coming in, this current is ridiculous. You can feel the sand sucking out from underneath the walker. I am ankle deep, and that's as far as I'm going. I am not getting anywhere nearer to that. That's craziness. Loads of shells here in the water, but ah, man, that wave just got me up to my thighs. That's not cool. There, we got a couple of nice finds here in the seaweed. This is an eastern white slipper snail right here. And we got a gorgeous sunray Venus. Nice colors and bands on that. Wow, I just got covered in seaweed. Gross. Nasty. Oh, poor little sea star. Oh, buddy, I'm so sorry. Yeah, he did not make it. There's a little baby whelk. That's cutie pie too. Nice. A couple more finds down here. And we'll put them in the bag. There does seem to be stuff mixed up with this seaweed, so it is worth looking around in it. It's a brittle star. Oh boy, I don't know, one of his legs is broken, I don't know. I hate to say put him back in the ocean after the beating he just took. Maybe if we put him up here in a little bit of water, he'll be okay. Here, buddy, try hanging out here for a little while if you're alright. I don't know if you're alive or not, but you can do it, man. You can do it.
Regenerate that leg.
We don't see brittle stars here very often, so that's an unusual spot.
What are those little ball things they look like a ball that's deflated? What are those?
Oh, I always hate getting this question. Are they white?
And cut on sometimes.
Oh, I think they're turtle eggs.
Okay,
I do. I think they're turtles.
Yeah, unfortunately, if you see something on the beach after a storm especially that looks like a ping pong ball that's shredded and ripped, that means it's a hatch turtle egg. But if you see something that looks like a deflated ping pong ball, sorry little turtles.
Down there.
Yeah, we've all been worried about the turtle nest and getting washed out. It's happened here after Storm Eva and after Ian and Idalia, certainly. Yeah, if they look like ping pong balls that have been deflated, that's what those are. Poor turtles. Oh, that's a shame. And I don't think until today Turtle Patrol could really get out here and look either and assess, because the bridges were closed for a while. There's another sunray Venus. Alright, there's a monster pile of shells over here in the middle. Now, that's not to say there's going to be much in it. Oh, there's a big old piece of wall right there, eh? Yeah, there could be stuff over here, there might not be. It's hard to say. And that wind. What's this? Oh, a teaser. Big teaser piece of whelk. Now, I will also say that I've seen happen a few times down here on the end, where after a big storm and all that sand gets churned up, people will find very often big fossilized shells out here in a few feet of water, just digging around with their feet. So anytime we've had a big churn in the Gulf, it's always a good idea to look for that kind of stuff, as long as it's safe to do so. I wouldn't say today would be that day. Seeing jingles, there's another spiny. And a cone. Hey, a little Florida cone. How nice. All right. Those are fun. A lot of surf clams, a lot of arcs, a lot of broken cockles. Now, the last time I was here, there was a ton of cool stuff in the water, but certainly don't expect to find anything in that chocolate milk today. Now, as bad as it's been, as much flooding as we've had, and as tough as this storm has been on most of Florida, one thing I can say is when you get this kind of wind from a storm pushing on shore, generally your shell piles get recharged and things get brought up. So we'll see how it goes. In the meantime, the terns, the willets, and the seagulls have all had a pretty rough couple of days. Their little nesting area is all jacked up. So these guys are sitting down here on the point, taking it easy and taking a rest. They're not even as happy cheeping as they usually are.
And just so that you know, as I'm editing this and putting this video together, it's about 3 weeks or so after Debby, we are still under a state of emergency and flood warning. And every afternoon thunderstorm that comes through, they just keep kicking the can down the road for the flood warnings to be lifted. We haven't left state of emergency since Debby. The amount of rainfall that we get in the afternoon thunderstorms, especially in the eastern portions of Manatee and Sarasota County, have been staggering, to say the least. We have a lot of flooding issues still going on. FEMA's still here. So just wanted to kind of set the scene.
Piles and pieces all over. And
believe it or not, this is our end point for where the bird nesting has been. Now when I say the point looks bigger, it looks wider. But I also noticed the beach over here looks, I don't want to say smaller, but it's leveled and it's more narrow. That could be just due to the tide level. We won't really know for a couple more days until this all calms, but definitely some rearranging has occurred here on Lido. Now remember, Debbie had been kind of raging all weekend long, and Monday we couldn't go anywhere because the flooding was bad everywhere and all the access to the barrier islands are closed. So we are here technically day 2, even though we were getting rain bands on Monday, so I sort of guess it's day 1 really, but we were on Tuesday and it was still this churned up. She wasn't that far away from us, and here you go. This is what it really looks like. Even after the storm is gone, still have to wait a little bit of time for things to calm down. Clearly, we are not calm yet. Not even close. It is a moon. Just beat up, just came out of the surf. It's still got the foam on it and has some rough shape. But, you know, maybe we'll find a couple more. Busted fighting kongs all over the place. Wow. Oh, that one's not broken. It's just really old and missing its tip. I don't know if somebody flipped this turtle cage up, but clearly one of the stakes washed out, and it's hard to say if this is beyond buried or if it's already hatched out. Man, everything is smashed to smithereens. Glass? Yeah, everything is smashola down here today. Another big piece. Oh, it's too bad this got broken. Look how pretty that one was. Man. Though, that kind of looks like a flower. I think I'm going to take that. That's pretty too. Nice piece of whelk. Ah, a piece of a true. Boy. Big pieces of things all over. Ah, there's an olive and the tip of a cigarillo. I'll pick that up. Maybe there will be some cooler stuff over here toward the rocks. The shells are changing. A lot of bigger stuff. Still all pieces. There's a nice mossy. It's a great little mossy arc with his crazy shape. He's really neat. Is that? It is. A piece of a horse conch, another teaser. And it's in ragged shape. I'm gonna leave that behind, but and oh, a little broken baby's ear. Hello, baby's ear. Alright, so we hadn't seen a lot in the rack lines, really. Maybe because it's crazy rough. There is some stuff over here, but again, I really don't want to be hanging out in this water. It's kind of nasty. There's another big piece of truth up there. And that one was huge. Boy, I wouldn't mind finding the rest of you. You're pretty. Boy. Oh, moon. Yeah, a lot of broken stuff. Very foamy. Hello, welcome. Just half a whelk. Definitely bigger pieces of stuff over here than what we were seeing before. There's a nice little olive. And he's still kind of glossy. And look, there's a whole fighting conch. Let's rinse it. Full of sand. That's a pretty little fighting conch right there. Nice. Couple of juvie fighters here. Get these guys for the ocean takes them back. And there's a lace murex. Well, most of a lace. He's missing this part of his shell right here, but everything else is intact. It's a little, hey, it's a lace murex, and I'll take it. Little fighting conchs. Anything up here? Oh, nice. That's a nice nutmeg, honey. Some fighting conchs and mixed in with all this stuff too. Wow, that's intact. And it has a funky pattern on it. That might clean up decent. We'll take this one home. All right, so we have seen Lido. We have found a few things, including a couple of cones, which was pretty great. And we're gonna move on to our next location here in just a few minutes. All right, we thought we were gonna be walking across here, but apparently we're filled in with some water. Well, you go walk first and make sure it's not too deep. In the meantime, all this sand, none of this was here. So this all washed in from over there to here by the parking, which the secondary lot is a lake right now. And normally we walk right across this to get to the parking lot, but you can see there's water way over there, water all through this. The walkway, the next walkway over might have been better. John's gonna see if we can get through this, and then we'll be on our way. And since I was wearing sandals, it took me about 10 minutes to slog across some pretty spongy and wet territory over here to get to the other side. See this pile of leaves? That's your high tide mark. Everything got wet up to here. Much of Lido South Lido Beach Park is underwater, where the kids' play area is, and all this grass, this access point out to the beach. Yeah, this is all soaking wet. Got some boughs off of some of the pine trees are down in the park too, but the obvious big problem here is the flooding in here. So be a few days more before this is dried out for folks to come and play again. Let's take a quick little peek at some of the fun things we got here. Picking the trash out of my shell bag, picked up a lot of that. So I got some interesting broken things from my shadow box stuff. Really cool turkey wing. A couple of moon snails in here. That was cool. And then a paper cockle and that big white Atlantic semele. The white coquina. So yeah, we found some neat stuff. There's most of a lace murex there. Just missing a little bit of it.
All cones.
John went and had some fun up in the fossils underneath the building and found a really cool type of murex there. A little horse and lots of cones, a little moon, and a mitra. Awesome.
All them cones.
After John grabbed some cool parking lot fossils over at Lido, of course, we went on our way up to Longboat to see what things looked like up there. So if you haven't seen the beach report from that
actually, and very few people have. It only got a few hundred views, and people kind of missed that beach report. So I'm going to go ahead and just put a little footage in here, show you what it is that we saw when we left Lido and went to Longboat Key. Okay, road is still underwater here. Not really terribly, but
Got a drainage problem here.
yeah, they sure seem to. Tennis courts are underwater over there still at White Sands.
Tennis anyone?
Our Outrigger Resorts driveway underwater. Still quite a bit of water around this stretch of Longboat. Typically they have a hard time with drainage over here to begin with. Yep, Covert, still got water in their driveway. Banyan's driveway's open.
It's cream.
Whoa!
It's flying.
Alright, the Gulfside parking accesses are underwater, so we will not be checking this beach access today. Wow, that pool's right up to the edge.
At the next stop sign,
Oh, the rainwater.
turn right.
Alright, Gulfside Drive is still under some water, as we can see. I thought maybe it'd be a little, I thought we'd be able to get into the parking spaces, but no, there's hopefully about 6 inches of water in there. It does not look like Debby did them any favors over here. Still quite a lot of water. Okay, not getting out here. Swing over to Broadway here for a second and see what that looks like in the parking lot too. But Gulfside Drive has seen better days. Gosh. All right, we are on Longboat Key now at the Broadway access. Very evident everything was underwater here too. A lot of standing water still. Oh, John. We gotta take the walkway. We ain't walking down there. That's not looking good. Oof. Okay, you may not be able to see it yet on camera, but you will when we get closer. There's a spot here, we kind of go up the hill, then we go down the hill, then we go up the hill. And we like to walk this because we always find cool parking lot fossils, but it's full of water. Even the walkway is underwater. Wow. Okay, I don't recall seeing water here like ever. Not even after Ian. So, yeah, Finn was pretty energetic too. So was Adalia. None of them flooded this. Then again, we didn't get 14 inches of rain for any of those like we did this one. So we've got water flowing around here from someplace. The walkway is going to keep us out of the bulk of it, but ugh. All right, I'm in 1.5 inches or 2. Ick. That was gross. No, I didn't even want to do it now. Look at this. I mean, that's crazy. Look at this. Yuck. I do not want to walk through that. Golly, look at over here behind the dunes and everything. Jeez. Holy cow. Now this stretch of Longboat had a fairly significant renourishment done a few years ago. And I think some of this has gotten leveled too. Somebody's been out here picking up the tires from the old reef project. Oh man. Ugh. Ugh. Gross. So you Gotta go through water on Longboat to get to the beach now. Yuck. It's a little piece of bone. For heaven's sake, did shark seeds start washing up in here? Because there's a lot of stuff that looks very much like what we see at Casperson. All these little black pieces of phosphate. Shell-wise, it's a desert. This Setch of Longboat's got like nothing on it. It's normally not that good anyway, but I am just a bit taken aback at the changes out here, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, my poor terns, they're all so tired. They're all sitting and relaxing. Oh, guys had a rough few days. Did you get an albino, babe? I think you did. Yeah, he doesn't have any of the pink or the other stuff in it. A little bit of mud discoloration here on the sides, some low oxygen sediment, but I do believe you think you got maybe an albino, or maybe there's just like a white version of this that is more common than people know. Yeah, but not much for shells, that's for sure. Maybe we should check up here by the dunes. Oh, look how tired that guy is. He just like plowed right into the dirt and got his face down. There's a couple of them like that. They're okay. They do it on purpose. They're not hurt or anything like that. I've seen these guys do this a lot of times. When they're just that tired, they just lay right down on the sand. Poor little friends. Aw. My little bird buddies have had a rough weekend. There was some turtle nests up here. I only see one set of stakes right now. So I'm hoping the ones that were here earlier have already hatched and got themselves out of here before this weekend. And look at this, the dune is pushed way back to here, John. All right, so this is where the dune used to be. What have we here? A whole bunch of new sand just lay down. No shells in it, but somebody's cherry lip balm. We'll take and throw that away. Some whelk pieces. Some Atlantic giant cockle pieces. Just pieces. Pieces and pieces and pieces. And a whole lot of water that does not belong here. It's a little stinky. So, oh, poor Longboat. Longboat's had a rough go of things since Ian. And when we do come here, we do like to go further down the island, close to the other side of where we were at Gulfside, the house with the stilts. And at times, there will be a shell pile over there. Usually in the wintertime, after a rip-roaring winter storm comes through, stuff will pile up down by the seawall. But shell-wise, there ain't a heck of a lot here, and definitely not now. Okay then. And we'll say goodbye to Longboat for now. Oh, Longboat. My, my, my. Baby, if you told me there was a Junonia in that mess, I'd tell you to go get it, because I ain't going in that. Yucko. Gross. No, another 2 days it'll be really foul. Hopefully the water will have drained some by then. Yeah, look at this, is never water here, never, ever, ever. So crazy. First time I've ever seen that. I've never seen water across there, not even after Ian. Well, there's a pretty good reason why we didn't see water levels like this following some of the last storms. As you can see here, we had a pretty significant amount of rain, and they didn't reflect Sarasota necessarily on this list, but Longboat would be right in line with where the airport is, kind of, if that makes sense. Anyway, I'm pretty close to the airport, so for the month of August, we're looking at almost 2 feet of rain, about it, just under an inch shy of a record-setting level from 1981. Lakewood Ranch had even more than we did. Parrish had a good bit up that way as well. And all this stuff has to flow down toward the ocean through the rivers. So you can kind of get an understanding of why it is that we've had such flood warnings and state of emergency has been going on for so long around here. And here we have the haul from Lido Key right after Debby. Take you in a little closer to look at a few things. John got an alphabet cone. I got a Florida cone. And of course he found some cool parking lot fossil cones as well. And one of them, I think, might be kind of special. This guy here. Look at that. Look at the patterning on that. That is definitely from something extinct, because that is not a now shell for our area at all. So thought that was pretty cool. Got that big white Atlantic semele and some halfway decent moon snails. Unfortunately, some of my footage went missing because of the battery issues I was having out there that day for some reason. Everything was charged, but I lost a lot of chunks of footage, so unfortunately the moon snails didn't get picked up in some of that. There's that crazy oyster the wind blew out of my hand. He was neat. Got some nutmegs here. A little juvie fighting conch and some other smaller ones, and some big ones there too. Augers, sereths, olives. And yeah, we in fact did break the sand dollar. Oh well, it's okay. I've got plenty of them that aren't broken, so that's all right. But it was in raggedy shape in the first place. And I don't think getting blown out of John's hand and landing on the beach did it any favors. It was crazy windy out there. There's some of the fun olives that we found. There's the mossies, some sunray Venus clams. Yes, I know you see it. We'll talk about it in a second. Some fighting conchs. Got some cool whelks. Nice big piece of whelk that I'm intending to cut up for earrings, along with these tulip pieces that I'm probably going to do the same with. Got some turkey wings here. That nice big dark red base scallop. Piece of bryozoan right here. And that huge white Atlantic semele, that was really cool. That's pretty good size for one of those. That they don't usually get that size when we find them. A little bit smaller than that. And then here's some chestnut turbans we found. This really fun true tulip piece here too. It's most of a true. I'll do that so you can kind of see it. And then this guy here, which was most of a lace murex. Missing a little bit on the back, but that just makes it better for shadow box work because it'll sit down there fine. And there's our little white Atlantic slipper snail, the rough scallop, and some spiny jewel boxes right here. And then, of course, this, which is, if you've been watching the channel a while, you know I love these goofball weirdo southern horse mussel shells with their dark purple inside and that pretty mother of pearl nacre. So I just love those. Those are pretty. And we found a couple of crown conchs too. This pieced up one and then this one here, which was in halfway decent shape. Now let's talk about this one. Is it an albino or is it just old and worn? This shell, it's a little harder to tell with it. Now, in the past, we have found albinos of these out on Anna Maria Island following a storm, and they are a bit more see-through than this one. So this guy, you can see just a hint of the pink tinge here, and it seems like maybe this shell is more white than albino because it doesn't really have that much of that translucent quality. It does have it. You can see my finger there. See it? It has some of that quality, but not quite as see-through as the whelks at all. It's not that it's old and surf-worn. I mean, clearly you can see the detailing on the shell is pretty pronounced. It's still in really good shape. So I would say this guy tends albinistic, but I wouldn't necessarily call it a true albino, since we do have others in our collection that actually are true albinos of this particular shell. So let's talk about the last 3 of the finds that we did get out there over at Lido and Longboat. This first piece, this is fossil bone of some sort. Definitely different colored on the inside, broken off, kind of flat on the end. There's just not enough information here for me to be able to tell what this is actually from, but there is this kind of funky groove down the side of it, and I feel like there's going to be somebody out there who might know more about what this is, but I've been through my fossil book, can't identify this guy. No clue. The next special one that we found that was also a fossil is this little beauty. Look at that. Isn't that a cool shell? It's a type of a murex that only lived in the Pliocene. Its name is, let me get my book back opened up here. That is Typhus floridanus, and it is only found in the Caloosahatchee beds, only in the Pliocene. Not before that, not after that. Only in the Pliocene. So that was a pretty cool find actually too. It's one of the ones John came up with when he was picking up all the cones over by the building. And then of course my little favorite one, the little paper cockle. It's so pretty. I like these shells. They're thin and there's not much to them. You can see how thin that is. Kind of see-through-ish, but that was my woohoo find for the day out there at Lido following Debbie. So all in all, it was a little bit rough of an outing at Lido, but we did not go home empty-handed and we had a lot of fun. Longboat. Oh, you know, a few years ago I used to pick up some really nice shells over there. I really did. But boy, ever since the big renourishment, and I think Storm Ada or Zeta or whatever her name was, things got kind of messed up over there and they haven't quite been the same since. So we may not take any trips out to Longboat for the next little bit of foreseeable future because it just has been such a meh as far as shelling goes there. I think re-showing some of this footage kind of really gives you guys an idea of why I say it's not always best to go running right out the day after this storm. Everything's a mess. Nothing's been picked up. Stuff is still flooded. The surf is still crazy. The wind is still crazy. And the beach is a little crazy. And really, the good stuff doesn't start showing up until day 2. So while we were out there immediately following the storm, we didn't maybe necessarily have the most bang-up shelling conditions. However, since the ocean wasn't ready to give up her gifts for me just yet, because it took another day, I thought I would take this time to share with you some of the gifts that I've been sent by a couple of the channel fans. And can I just say, you guys are so awesome. Thank you so much for sending me cool stuff. It was really, really fun mail. And I'm sorry it took me a little bit to actually sit down and talk about it because with all the crazy from the storm and then getting hurt and having to go back and forth to the doctor and the chiro and all that stuff, things sort of got lost in the shuffle there a little bit. So I'd like to take the time right now and highlight some of the special things that you, my channel fans, have sent to me that I really appreciate and love. So first I have this cool box from Gina. I believe it's pronounced Gina Magda. I think it looks like Gina, but there's 2 N's, so I think it's Gina. I'm not positive of that, so if I'm messing it up, I apologize. Check out what I got in this box. Oh, this is so cool. Look at this handmade artwork, and she signed it. Ah! That is amazing. That awesome whale with the boat. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. And I love this even more. Handwritten note inside. Very lovely. It says, oh, I'm going to need my glasses for this. Hold on. Michelle, thank you for your creations of love, your generosity for my grandsons, all 3, and just for being you. Your kindness shines through to all you reach. Enjoy the surprise shells from Virginia Beach. Your friend, Jenna. Oh, and she's referring to the gift for her grandsons. She had mentioned that her boys like shark's teeth and stuff, so I actually ended up sending some shark's teeth and fossil shells, just like a couple of little things for each of the kids. I thought it would be cool, like they would get a chance to enjoy some Florida fossils, so that was fun. And then what else is in here? Let's take a look. Oh, some really good beachy ones. This is nice. Psalm 24:1. Just as we are called to love our neighbor as we love ourselves, we are also called to love the earth simply because it is God's creation. And this one from Romans. For ever since the world was created, people have seen the earth and the sky. Through everything God made, they can clearly see his invisible qualities. Very cool. Oh, this is so cool. I love this. Thank you. This is awesome. But it wasn't all that was in here. Oh, your bag of shells. And this cool little ornament dude that looks like it's like the Grinch. I think he's so fun. I just love it. So we got the little Grinch guy, and then we got some really nifty stuff in here. My favorite pieces from in here are these tusk shells, because the ones we get here are small and so thin, and these guys are like bigger and heavier duty. Oh, these are so cool. So cool. And then there's some others that look like some of our fossil turrets that we collect around here. Like these guys right here. They're part of the auger family. Here, I'll take the glasses off so you don't see just reflection in my face. There we go. So we got some of these guys in the bag. And this one, which looks like a little nutmeg relative, which I thought was so cool. And this cool piece of driftwood. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but the shape of it is so perfect that I want to put like a little shell with like a little teeny tiny beaded hermit crab or something on it. I don't know. I'm going to make something really cool out of that, though. I think it's really, really neat. So yeah, I got that stuff from Ditto, which was really fun. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So next, I got actually 2 boxes from this cute little lady named Ann Sweet, who's from Tennessee. Oh my God, she's adorable. Ann sent me a box of shells with a handwritten note. I sent her back a little handwritten note with some jewelry in it. And then she sent me another box with some goodies in it. So Ann is hooking me up like huge. Oh my gosh. But my favorite part about this is that she sends me these awesome handwritten letters and pictures of the stuff she makes. And I think it's just fantastic. Okay, great. I love it. So I'm going to read you guys the letter that Ann sent to me. Dear Michelle, I hope you don't mind my coming in the back door to meet you. Today is about the 5th day I have spent with you on the beach binging your great YouTube videos. I met Charmin almost the same way a while ago. Sent her some shells from my stash and bought some from her as well. So when you mentioned her name and I couldn't seem to have any luck joining your channel, I decided to enlist her help to find you. She's so cute. Ann didn't know how to find me, so she ended up getting a hold of Charmin so that she could get my contact information and address so she could send me a box, which I thought was adorable. And I'm like, Charmin, you know this lady, right? She's like, oh yeah, Ann's a doll. You're going to love her. I have collected shells all my life. Lost most of them when our house burned about 25 years ago. So living so far away from a beach, have had to buy most of mine. My sister was an RN, retired in Port Charlotte, Florida, and passed away 5 years ago. But she did not like the beach, so was no help in that matter. My husband and I are retired. He from hauling nuclear waste, and I from risk management at our hospital here. We have 3 spoiled rotten dogs. A 5-year-old, a 7-year-old long-haired mini dachshund, and a 10-month-old mini Shetland sheepdog. We love your buddy dog. My favorite shells are murexes and anything strange, like barnacles, worm shells, pen shells, coral. Your videos have taught me about fossil shells. Interesting. I had never heard of some of them. I am sending some not-so-good pics of a couple of the shadow boxes I have made. And also, I have a mermaid diagram that I've just completed, but I don't have a pic developed yet. Do you know of a source where I could order 2 or 3 preserved seahorses? I have some that I have made from clay ones, but I'd also like to have some real ones. I wish I did. The only place I ever see the little seahorses, like I know Charmin found a few after Hurricane Ian, And a few other people have been finding them here and there since Debby, but I've personally not come across one on the beach. The only place I've ever seen them actually is at our shell show from one of the vendors. And that was not this past show, but the year before. So yeah, they're not that easy to get. Get my glasses back on. I admire your scooting around those rocks and water on your walker, but I'm always worried you will fall. My walker has wheels. I have one like yours and always wondered if they would work on a beach. I do all my shopping in stores with shopping carts like Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Dollar Tree, all of that. I had a cervical disc injury and lumbar surgery, total knee replacement. So with being in our air over the hill a while ago group 80 years, I'm kind of slow. Well, enough about me. Let me know when you get happy mail. Love you, Anne. She's so cute. All right, so she sent me, oh my God, it's heavy, a bag of shells, a huge bag of shells. Really, really cool. Thank you, Anne. And she also sent me something that she made as well as the pictures. Okay, so here are her shadow boxes, which I think are beautiful. There's one. And then here's a couple more. I love that pelican. Oh my God, he's so cool, Anne. Awesome. And let's see. This was the box that had the little shell with the turtle design on it. How pretty is that? Oh, beautiful. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Nice work, Anne. Love it. So yes, very, very fun mail. And gifts of the sea, even though they were not from the sea, they're still incredibly special, and I appreciate them very, very much. So when I sent Anne a little box of goodies to say thank you for sending me the shells, she then turned around and sent me another box. So I got another cool letter, and I got some more really, really cool shells. Now, unfortunately, the mailman left it outside and it got soaking wet and kind of the box sort of like fell apart. But all the shells in it are a-okay and they're just fine. So I'm going to set that back there for a second. Now, Anne, you mentioned to me that you're looking for a copy of the Florida's Living Beaches book. If you go into the description on this video or the last two prior to this one, all the books that I have, there's a link where you can find it right at Amazon to grab a copy of it if you like. And I just put all that stuff together so that people could find, you know, the books and the gear I use and stuff like that. I'm signed up for their affiliate program. I might make 10 cents if you get it through there. I'm not going to, you know, it's not like I'm going to get rich on Amazon affiliates. That I'm pretty sure about. But I did want to do it as a convenience so that folks knew where to find the stuff that I get and I use. All right, so let's take a look here at my second little goodie. Oh my gosh, there's like these cool shells, and she put some rhinestones in that. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe if I take it out of the plastic. Let's take a look. I'm thinking I might make myself a pair of earrings out of these guys because they're pretty sweet. How cool is that? All right, let's see what we've got here. Hi, Mitch. Thanks so much for the beautiful necklaces, but you did not need to do that. It just makes me happy to find someone with the same shell addiction as me. I am on the trail of that Florida Living Beaches book. I contacted Pineapple Press, and they referred me to their publishers in Maryland. I called, and they were closed for the day, so we'll try again. Anyway, I will keep checking for the video you mentioned. This scallop I think I'm sending you has a hole in it, so I plugged it with Swarovski crystals. I love them. If you have any extra shells with barnacles on them that you don't have time to clean, send me some, please. I'll use them without cleaning. Thanks, Anne. And you got it. I'm going to send you some barnacled up shells. I got a pile of them I've been saving for the Save the Nasty Shells video. Way more than I can use. So I'll pull you some stuff and send you some cool stuff. And then she sent me this. It's a copy of the inside of a little tiny book that I have. It's only this big. It's a little book about shells from all over the world. And it identifies the scallop that she sent me. She believes it is a folded scallop. And that's the folded scallop right there. So this is just fun, you guys, to get like cool, fun stuff in the mail. That is really very sweet of you girls. I appreciate that very, very much. And I just wanted to say a big thank you. And that was very, very sweet of both of you. Oh, I just have to say it, guys. The shelling community is amazing. People in this community are awesome. How generous and sweet to send me things that people, they took the time to draw me something, to write me letters, to put something in a box and send it. And I appreciate that more than you know. I just wanted to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Those little packages really brightened up my days, especially since I've been kind of down for the count and haven't been out to the beach as much because I've been kind of banged up. So I just wanted to say how much I appreciated that you both sent those things to me, and just say how amazing the shelling community is. We all like a different variety of shells, a different set of beaches, and different conditions, but we all have that same passion for the ocean and the beautiful things that come out of it, and that passion for sharing that beauty with other people as well. So that's one of the things I think makes shelling so, so special. Well, I hope you enjoyed this slightly shorter shelling video and this adventure at Lido Key, and a look at some of the really sweet presents that some of the folks have sent to me. I just wanted to say thank you again so much for not only sending me like little goodies in the mail, that's awesome, but for watching my channel and for supporting me. When I first started my channel, I look back now at those videos and I'm like, oh, they were so bad. I don't know why anybody watched them. So I can see a big change in my content, and I hope you girls and guys out there can too. And I hope that it's working for you. I hope that you're enjoying the content, that you're enjoying the sense of community. And I encourage you to please go ahead and join over on our Facebook stuff. I've got the Eshway Bijou Shell Buddies page. Now I do have questions that are like on there. That's to keep away the bots and the auto responders from just, spamming and trying to get into the room. Yeah, I'd like this to be like a nice, calm, cool space where everybody can share their finds, talk with each other, set up little shelling outings and that kind of stuff too. A place where you can go and feel like you're just hanging out with your shell buddies. Thank you so much once again for tuning in this week. And remember, if you want to have adventures like these, even though this one was a little on the short side, then you know what you need to do. Get out there and go shelling!